Hey there. Hello. How do you do? My name is Harry Wetzel. Thanks for coming. It's the 80s, darling. Yes, it is. It is November 29th, 1983. It is a Tuesday. It is late November, so it starts getting dark at 4:30. So when I get to work at 6 p.m. sharp on the dot, it's night. It's dark. It's night. And as I cross the threshold into my new job for the first time, that it's my job. Eye in the Sky is by Alan Parsons' project is playing on the radio, and I take that as a fantastic omen. Yes. And so over here behind the counter is a beautiful young black woman selling a big bottle of Hungarian wine to a 80-year-old white woman. And it's a Tokay is the white wine she's selling. This is apparently a very strong Hungarian population in this neighborhood. And so we sell a lot of Hungarian booze. And Tokay, being a white, sweet Hungarian wine, is pretty much the number one seller, as it turns out, around here, around these parts. I walk on up to the counter, and there's Stuart, the boss. He's leafing through his favorite magazine, Beverage Media. And I say, "Hiya, boss," and I shake hands with him, and he kind of chuckles, and he doesn't meet my eyes. And I'm like, oh. And he introduces me to Francine, the lovely young lady behind the counter, and who does meet my eyes. And it's a two-handed shake when she and I meet, and her hair is pulled back on the sides and sort of curly and piled up on top. It looks very sweet, and she's got rich brown eyes and a slightly Roman nose, very becoming. Anyhow, Stuart takes me around the shop and gives me a tour of my new workplace. Yes, and there are shelves at 6 feet high, all the way around both sides of the store, with different shelves and shelves and shelves of liquor and booze and wine. It's fantastic. And then in the middle, there are these two great big racks of wine. With so many bottles and bottles. It's like a record store, only with booze. It's fantastic, right? And back in the middle of the back wall is a great big cooler, a big refrigerator with a glass door so you can see all the champagnes and chilled wines that are in there. And we've got a nice selection of those. And behind that, around the corner is a tiny office. It's really more of a walk-in closet with a desk and a filing cabinet. Right. Then Stuart takes me down to the wine cellar. Yes, the wine cellar in quotation marks, because it is little more than a partially finished basement. Yes, there are with hundreds and hundreds of boxes of booze down there. There are 4 rows of booze piled waist high all along the whole room, and another row up against the wall, and there are shelves back there with more booze and more wines and more liqueur and everything. There is so much booze down in this little basement room. And there's a little bathroom over there, and there's a huge conveyor belt going up and down the stairs. It's slightly precarious, or so it looks, and it's a little bit wider than half the staircase, so you got to kind of squeege up or when you go down or up and down the stairs. But the conveyor belt is very useful. It has these nubs on the belts so that you can actually put a case of wine, and it takes it up without it sliding. But it seems terribly dangerous because it is a 45-degree angle, but it works, and it's very useful. So that's my tour of my new workplace. Yes. And then I've got my first delivery on my first day at the job, and that is to Bernardini. Francine tells me, and she gives me we get a couple of magnums of Principato Red. The big bottle. It's like 2 bottles worth of booze. Two magnums of Principato Red, and she bags those up and gives me some money for change. And off I go. I say, back in a flash, I say. And it's right up here on 84th Street on the 5th floor. and and I go on up to Bernardini apartment, and it's this cute young 20-something couple. They're both very attractive, pretty woman, pretty man, with big brown eyes, both of them, and a lot of curly dark hair. They're just gorgeous. They look like a painting, and they're very friendly. And they got a sweet little dog, a little white fluffy dog named Brandy. And they're very nice, and they're Sherry and Jerry, and they're delighted that I'm Harry and that we rhyme. And so they give me a lovely tip, and they're regulars apparently, so I'll be seeing them around, and I'll be seeing you around. Thank you very much. Nice meeting you. And off I go. I'm back to the shop in under 5 minutes. And so here we are, the new job. Off we go like a shot. Not really, because it was sort of a slow night. Yeah. So we're hanging around, and Stuart's friend Steve comes in, and Steve is sort of a white yuppie nerd, and he looks a little bit like an egghead, and they're talking about wines all night long. It was fascinating because Stuart knows so much about wines and booze. He's encyclopedic. It was fascinating. And Steve looked like an egghead, but he didn't know anything about wines. And he was asking question after question after question. And Stuart answered every one of these questions like a pro. It was like watching a professor give a lecture. It was fantastic. Very impressive. Yeah. Oh, then I suddenly got another call. And that was just right around the corner here on 83rd Street on the 16th floor. A half a gallon of old overcoat bourbon with a handle up to the 16th floor to Mr. Zappa. Yes, no relation. Oh, I know. But so I just, same deal. She gives me, we bag it up. She gives me change, and off I go. Back in a flash, I say. And so I go on up to the 16th floor, and the terrifying thing about Mr. Zappa is that he has a chin, but no jawbone beneath it. Yes, the poor fellow. Osteoporosis, apparently, or something. Yes. Scarier than any werewolf, I'll tell you that. But he was super nice. He was a lovely person, and he always tipped very well. I love going around the corner to Zappa because it'd be a nice tip for something that only took 2 minutes. It was great. Whenever we get a call from Zappa, we knew to get out half a gallon of old overcoat, and put it on the counter there. And my last delivery for my first night was to a scared young lady behind a chain door. Yes, she lived over here on 85th Street in a brownstone. And I went to the brownstone with she had a liter of Four Roses bourbon. So I had to buzz in, and she's like, yes. And I'm like, delivery from Vino Veritas. She, and I go on in the hallway, and there's a little peek hole in the door. So I go like that. And she opens up the door, and there's a chain. Chakunk. She says, where's Johnny? I say, Johnny quit to be a doorman at his aunt's apartment building. She said, oh. And she shut the door. Clunk. I said, thanks, Johnny. And then she opened the door again. She gave me a $20 bill. Oh, and I passed with the change still on, and I passed the bottle of in the bag with the booze to her, and I started to make change. She says, no, keep the change. Welcome to your new job. And I said, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. She said, what's your name? I said, it's Harry. She said, well, Harry, thank you very much, and good night. Chakunk. And she shut the door, and I was like, thank you. What's your name? Oh, okay. So I waved into the peek hole, and on my way, I get back to the shop in just a couple of minutes. And that was the last delivery of the night. So we're hanging around. They're still talking wines. It was fascinating, but I look at the tally, and I made $8 and change tonight, and that doesn't sound like it's particularly great. I know. So, but hey, it's It's $8 in 1983 money, which has got a little bit more value. A pack of Marlboro cigarettes was $1.50. We didn't know how good we had it. So hey, $8 is $8. All right. The next day, November 30th, 1983. It's a Wednesday. Yes, I'll tell you about it next time. So in the meantime, thank you. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Please share it out. Share it to one person. You can do it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. And I can't wait to talk to you again. All right. And until we meet again. Yeah. So, oh, where's the button? Oh.